Welcome to the podcast, Working Drummer. Dynamic interviews that tell you everything you need to know about being a professional drummer and a few things you may not want to know. Produced by Mike Jackson and hosted by myself, Matthew Crouse. We are at Forks, and we appreciate Gary so last minute letting us do this and just taking the time to sit down and talk to you. So let's talk about the Nashville Drummer Jam. How many have you done so far?
I have done 2.
Uh-huh.
I did I forget the numbers, but I did the Jeff Porcaro one.
That would be 3.
And I did the Neil Peart one.
Okay, that would be 5.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I saw you at the Neil Peart one, and it was great, man. You killed it. It was really cool.
That was a lot of fun. That was tough to play on a kit that size. I haven't done that in a long time.
Yeah.
Yeah. But that was great.
Yeah. So, what do you think that the Drummers Jam, how has it affected the community, the drumming community in general, as it's grown?
Yeah, I feel like it's all been positive. I feel like it's kind of reinforced the community that's already been there.
Right.
But reinforced it and kind of given it a voice and given it a once or twice a year place, to kind of reunite everybody.
Yeah.
There's so many amazing guys in this town that play, and to go out there and basically everybody, is best buddies, and you sit there and you watch each other play, and some guys play and you're like, oh man, I need to sell my drums. Some guys play, you're trying to lift them up, and then when you participate in it, it's this awesome pressure of, man, I don't want to lay down in front of all my peers.
Right.
At the same time, there's an acceptance and there's a respect there of like everybody knows, what you can do, and it's really great experience.
When I was at the Neil Peart one, one thing that I just had to give so much props to every single player that got up there, whether they destroyed it and played exactly every part, or if they might have made a mistake here or there, but I think most people were thinking the way I was, where that's really brave. That is amazing. And it doesn't matter how well you do or if you make a few mistakes here or there or whatever, there's something about it that you have to, and it's not just performing those complicated songs, it was that you're in front of your peers and the pressure. I mean, how did you deal with it?
Don't know if I should say it, but a little bit of alcohol and, and some good laughs before. I mean, you're right. It's like you've got guys that routinely play arenas and stadiums and or do session work for some of the most demanding producers and writers in town.
Right.
And these are guys that deal with pressure situations, or go to the Grammys and play on that or whatever it is. But still, there's nothing quite like getting up in a room of all your peers, all these guys you respect.
Yeah.
And I know in my world, it's not the number of people that bother me when I play. It's if there's a guy I respect and admire, and kind of want to put my best foot forward in front of. That's when you get nervous. Yeah. So
and there's not just one.
Right.
There's the players on the stage, and there's the players in the audience.
Yeah, man. So for me, it's just kind of prepare as best I can. I know everybody does that, because the more you feel confident in it, the better shot you have. Right. And then getting up there, I mean, it's nervous up until you get up there, and then you get up there and just have fun. Right. And you kind of have to. If you stay uptight, you're going to blow it, So, but yeah, there's no doubt it's nerve-wracking. I remember for the Jeff Porcaro, the Toto one, I mean, I was in pieces because we were on the road for, leading directly up to that. And I remember picking the song I picked. This is a song called Animal, and didn't have a chance to sit down at the kit and play it. And then finally did. And it's one of those Porcaro deceptively, amazingly awesome grooves. And I was like, man, I'm in trouble, and fortunately it all was great, but Yeah.
What song did you play on the Neil Peart one? So Animal you played with the Jeff Porcaro one, and then on the Rush one or the Neil Peart one.
I did the Big Money.
Okay.
I did the Show of Hands version, the live version. But cool song. I actually wanted Red Barchetta, but I think Sean Fuller beat me to it. And then,
yes.
But yeah, and I've just kind of, I I don't even remember why I picked that. I feel like maybe I was messing with that song at some point, or I think I'd been listening to that album a lot.
Yeah.
And it was fun.
Well, let's talk about this one coming up.
Yeah.
Everyone knows now that it's Alex Van Halen.
Mm-hmm.
So, do you have time to prepare now, or are you still slammed?
This song is a little less challenging.
Okay.
You know, I think than the other ones I've done.
Yeah.
And that was somewhat of an intentional pick, I think, because I think we're on the road right up until I think we fly in the day before the show or something like that. So that helps. This is also a song I've played before.
Oh, really?
You know, with some other bands. In fact, the first artist gig I ever had here, a guy named Jimmy Wayne.
Mm-hmm.
He's been around for a while, but the guitar player on that gig used to pull this song out. You know, we need to stretch or need a cover or give Jimmy a break.
Yeah.
So I feel good about it.
Nice.
You know?
That's gonna be
Yeah,
fun.
it should be lower stress.
Right. Do you want to tell people? Do you want to reveal that, or do you want to invite them to the show?
I'd say invite. You know, I think the last time we talked about what songs we were doing and kind of what they meant or how we got there. I think this one, just keep it party. Just
that's gonna
have
be
some fun. You know,
Sure.
Yeah,
Something to look forward to. December 14th is the date of the show. Where does Van Halen fall in the timeline for Matt Billingslea? Your discovery of them, your discovery of Alex.
Mm-hmm. It falls kind of late for me, honestly. Mm-hmm. I had my favorites growing up. Rush was a big one, Primus, and then I was kind of a 90s kid, so Pearl Jam, Nirvana, all that kind of stuff. Dave Matthews Band when they came out. I didn't go too far from that. I always liked Jump, Panama or Right Now, like kind of their big pop hits when they came out. But I kind of circled back to Van Halen sometime maybe in the last 10 or 15 years.
Okay.
And yeah, I mean, it's just such a thing. I feel like bands that have stood the test of time have such a clear sound,
right,
and such a clear, unique identity. And I feel like Alex is one of those drummers.
Yeah.
I mean, just, using Ludwig all that time, using those drums. I mean, he and Bonham made the 6.5 Superphonic, so much of what it is today. Just
you think he had a lot to do with
classic
that?
rock sound? I do.
Yeah.
It was a totally different take on it, but I feel like super great. He had his own thing, his own sound, his own feel.
Yeah.
Came up with really cool parts. And obviously it fit great with the band,
Right.
So I have a lot of respect for those guys.
That's kind of what I was going to ask was, what do you think that Alex gave to the soundscape in the drumming community? Something that when people heard that, they're like, okay, I need to do more of that. Mm-hmm. And that's going to be on my next record, or that's going to be part of my playing. Maybe not necessary for you, but something that has changed. Because music and drumming changed when Bonham entered the scene, when Mitch Mitchell entered the scene. Gadd laid his mark.
That's tough. I mean, so many of those other guys you mentioned are very...
Those are the obvious
specific.
go-to.
Yeah.
Right.
I feel like Alex had... I don't know. When I think of him, I think of really solid foundation, really solid kick and snare. He used the 4 on the floor thing quite a bit, which I think is cool and great and strong. Mm-hmm. When I think about him too, I also think about toms and the sounds of those and the rototoms and the use of some different sounds. And I feel like, I guess size-wise, he wasn't super far off of what Bonham was. He used more. I mean, man, my knowledge of that's not really that great, so I could be stepping all over myself here. But I think, he used more toms, obviously tuned different, and I feel like, they were more present. Where Bonham's thing, the coolest thing about it is you can hear the room and you can hear the kind of the vibe around it. It's such this organic, roomy kind of sound.
Sure.
I think Alex's was a little more upfront and had to be for the music, but I don't know. When I hear him, I hear a lot of power. And a lot of authority and confidence, I'm going to play this, and it's a little quirky, but you're going to love it.
Right. He had to do that because you think about how much his brother,
Yeah.
how much attention his brother got. So he had to do something, to make himself noticed. And, is there something about his playing that maybe creeps into your playing? Because, you mentioned all these other influences you had growing up, being a 90s kid, but also Rush and Primus and different things like that. So you probably, that comes out in your playing. Maybe this is kind of an Alex thing, or no. Or
I don't think I pull a ton of like specific vocabulary from him.
Yeah.
But I do think conceptually that strong foundation I was talking about.
Yeah.
Like the more I'm in rock, pop, country, the more, and the older I get, the more I understand the depth of just being able to drive a band.
Right.
You know? And I feel like, yeah, like to your point, when you've got Eddie Van Halen in the band, you've got all this beautiful color and harmonic and melodic sense happening.
Yeah.
So how do you drive that train? And he was able to drive it very effectively and color it in some really cool ways. And he was very musical at picking his spots where he did that,
Right.
So
that the sibling thing, the sibling harmony.
Special.
Right, that those brothers had.
That's very special.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you have a favorite record?
I don't.
You don't?
I don't.
Do you have
No, favorite songs would be, all the big pop ones like, Jump, Panama, Right Now. Yeah, boy, I'm drawing a blank on the rest. But yeah, I like their big stuff, the big smash stuff.
Sure.
I don't go too deep into their catalogs.
Yeah, sure.
And maybe I should. A couple people will probably kick me for that.
No.
But yeah.
But you know what? I think I'm the same way.
Yeah.
And I think that December 14th is going to be an opportunity for discovery.
Absolutely.
And a chance to see people in a band pull off a bunch of songs that we know, that we love, and probably a bunch of songs that we don't know.
Yeah.
That we're gonna like.
That night will likely reignite a spark in my Van Halen world, and one of my bandmates on the road currently is a huge Van Halen fan. So he's a walking history book of all that stuff. So
sweet. Is he going to be there?
Yeah, I think he's playing with us.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so it'll be a lot of fun.
Cool. So again, December 14th, Monday, December 14th at the Exit Inn.
Awesome.
Nashville Drummer Jam 7. Come see Matt play the song, the mystery song.
The mystery song.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love it. I'm excited.
Yeah. Awesome, man.
Cool.
Thanks, Matt.
Great to see you, Matt.
Good to see you, too.
Yeah, man. Thanks.